let's go over some of the key elements of lists in ServiceNow. Once you have a clear grasp of this information, you're well on your way to unleashing the power of lists in your workflows and applications. So think of a list as an abbreviated view of a table, with a table being a collection of records in a database. Now, this list view will be composed of columns as well as rows, where a row is a record in a database and your column is a field on a record. But what's at the very top of all that? Well, at the very top is your title bar, and it includes options for searching a list. I'm going to hop over to my personal developer instance, and feel free to follow along in your own personal developer instance. And if you haven't grabbed your free one, be sure to go to developer.servicenow.com. Now, I'm on the Tokyo version, and I talked a little bit about the title bar, and I thought we'd dig into it a little bit more here. So, at the far right of the title bar, you have New. Now, what does that New button allow? Well, that New button allows us to add a new record to the list. To the left of that, you'll see Actions on Selected Rows. It's a drop-down menu. When we select it now, notice how everything is grayed out. Well, it's grayed out because we've not selected any rows. So I'll deselect that, and let's go over and select a few rows. We'll select a couple or three. And let's head back over to that Actions on Selected Rows drop-down menu and see how there are now options that are available to us. We can select Archive Record, Delete with Preview. We're able to add tags, amongst other things. Now, we won't do anything to these records now, but I just wanted to give you a view of what is available. Now, to deselect these rows, we can do them individually, or we can go right above the very top beneath the All. When we click that box, notice how all of the records are selected. But when we select it again, all of the records are deselected. Next to that is the personalized list, the activity stream. Now let's go over to the left-hand side of the title bar. You'll see priority and search. Now, what is this about? This allows us to search. So right now we're able to search by priority. Well, we can also search by any of the column headers. Let's click the drop down so you can see what I mean. We can click by urgency, opened, short description, caller, etc., etc. We have the natural language query. This filter condition builder, noted by the funnel icon, opens up the filter condition builder, which allows us to get a subset of data. I've done a whole video on this, so be sure to check it out next. And to the left is the list controls menu, as you see with these three horizontal lines. Let's go back over to the personalized list, which is the gear icon. Now, when we zoom in, notice how there's this dot that's in that gear icon. That lets us know that we've personalized the list. Now, keep in mind, when you personalize a list, that view is only for you. You don't change the view of the list for anyone else in your organization. Let's go ahead and open it up, and it will open into a slush bucket. That slush bucket has two columns. On the left, you see Available, and on the right, you see Selected. The items on the right are all of the columns that are currently on our list view, and those on the left are those that we can add to our list view. Let's say, for example, we'd like to get rid of caller. To get rid of caller, you would select it. There's actually two ways. You can select it and then click the left arrow, which will remove it from selected to available. And you can also add something to the selected list. So let's select Updated By. Again, you can select it and then click the right arrow, which will move it from available to selected. You can also double click it, and it will do the same thing. Additionally, you can move this column header further up your list. We can move it right next to number. Now, it's always recommended not to change the very first column in your list, because that's how your list is organized. Let's go ahead and click OK. And you will now see that right next to number is the Updated By that we just personalized our list view. Let's go back. Let's take a look at this gear icon again. I'm going to zoom in. See how it still has that blue dot? That's because that list has clearly been personalized. But what if we want to go back to a default view? At the bottom left-hand corner of the slush bucket, you'll see Reset to Column Defaults button. We'll select that here. And now we're back to the default view. And we can verify that by looking at the gear icon, and notice how that blue dot has now been removed. Let's now take a look at the List Controls menu. There's some really cool features here as well. All right, so there we go. You can select the view. We're in the default view. We can select filters. We can select group by. In fact, let's go ahead and play around with this a little bit more. Let's select that we want to group this by priority. So we'll scroll down our list and go to priority. This will now give us a new view of our list where all of the records are grouped by priority. We can go back to group by, go back to that list controls menu, select group by, and select none. Let's see what else is here. We have show. Right now, our view is 20 rows per page. Now we can select 100, but just keep in mind that the more rows per page, the longer it will take to load. We can create a favorite by selecting here, and we can make this whatever we like. I've already made it a favorite. I've selected it to be blue, but we can change it now. We can make it magenta, and we can even change the icon. Select Save. And let's see how it appears now in the Favorites menu. It appears here at the bottom where it says Incident and our new icon in our beautiful magenta color. Now stay tuned for the next video where I'll go over the Filter Condition Builder. I'll see you there. Let's go.